Today we're gonna go over the most updated Pokemon Unite tier list. Let's go! You guys, how's everyone doing? This is your guy, Assassin Dave. Welcome back to Team 4 and Famous Family again. Today we're gonna do a little bit of traditional style of tier list breakdown. We're just gonna go ahead and put every single Pokemon in this tier list from S to F. That's a lot of tiers to show you guys exactly which Pokemon belongs to which tier and which one you should use in the Master Rank solo queue. Solo, duo, trio, they're kind of similar because you got an element of surprise. Not to mention, if you play trio or duo, there's a really good chance you're gonna go against Fireman. As you can see from Unite API right here, we just open up this website and you can see right here I was playing trio with my viewers, me, Money Max, and Tagahiro, and we went against Fireman right here. Pretty disgusting. And then just a few games ago when I was playing Dragonite, you know, per viewer request, per member request, and we got another Fireman on the other side. And I gotta tell you, it's not easy. You know, it's actually quite disgusting sometimes when they go against Fireman because they're more coordinated, have more body barrier to stack on top of each other. And the randoms, they steal your jungle, like my Cinderace game. The Talonflame was stealing my jungle, and I was going against Fireman, and we still carried. So just show you that it's kind of disgusting. So I count trio queue the same as solo queue. So with Master Rank solo duo trio queue, what Pokemon is the best to rank up? Let's start one by one. Just go down this list. First off, we have Absol. Absol is pretty decent solo queue Pokemon. You can use this Pokemon to actually rank up pretty fast, pretty decently, because your early game gank is really good. Your late game, you can use the Unite move to secure objectives if you do it right. Now, the Unite move secure is decent, but it doesn't do a single burst damage. That's why Absol, I would count it as an A tier Pokemon. Maybe like a low A, but a higher B. So Blastoise now. The thing about Blastoise, this Pokemon doesn't have any secure at all, but your early game fighting is absolutely insane, especially right now with Decidueye, with Duraludon. You know, people like to play those Pokemon quite often. In fact, if you go to Unite API and you go to meta, over here you can see that the pick rate last week, Duraludon still remained the highest. And then you have Lucario, you have Hoopa, you have Ninetales, you have Talonflame, Pikachu, all those Pokemons. Actually, Blastoise go pretty good against. So with that being said, just for the fact that Blastoise is so good against meta Pokemons, I would have put Blastoise in a higher A. Especially this Pokemon can score. You can carry Score Shield. Like Absol doesn't really carry Score Shield, but Blastoise does. And you can go score. You have a lot of control in the game. You can use your Unite to change the direction of a team fight. You can also use your Unite move to somewhat secure certain objectives, but it's not the best. It is pretty good still. All right, Blissey. Blissey is a Pokemon in solo queue. I highly don't recommend you play like by yourself. But if you can do in trio, you play Blissey and you get let's say someone like Cinderace, you get someone like Decidueye, and a Blissey just accompany that hyper carry. It's actually a really good character. And obviously Blissey can combo really well. Let's say Blissey and Blastoise can go in together. You have Blastoise jumping in with your water spout with a rapid spin, and you have Blissey that follows up that can be really good. Unfortunately, it's just a Blissey is not really a solo queue Pokemon. You can't really play a solo queue unless you're having to get in my queue. Let's say I'm playing solo queue and you happen to be in the same game. You play Blissey, I think that's a pretty good choice, right? I mean, I will carry. So let's put Blissey at a higher B because you can solo queue. Now, Charizard is very similar to Blastoise, but I would say Charizard's a little bit harder than Blastoise because Charizard's Unite move is conditional. Right now, with a lot of characters like Blastoise, that like Machamp, that's really popular too. And also, for example, Hoopa is really, really popular, right? You go back to the most popular picks. Lucario. All those Pokemons, Lucario like to take full heal. And Lucario close combat, Machamp close combat, also Hoopa transform. Also Hoopa, when he used the laser beam in unbound form, are all completely immune to crowd control. It's actually quite hard for someone like Charizard to get a Unite off. So it's actually quite interesting. Even though as rank 1 Charizard, I wouldn't put Charizard as a really high tier. I would have put as A tier for sure because Charizard jungle is still really powerful. You can use your Unite 5 times a game. Similar to like Pikachu. Pikachu can get Unite off like once per minute. Charizard, if you get Unite off fairly early, there has been games that I get 5 Unite off in one game. And that's crazy, by the way. Like, we all know how strong Charizard is. You just have to be really patient on when to use your Unite. What I like to do is use my Flamethrower and my Fire Blast combo with my full heal, just to damage, kite around. And once I get people to around like 50% HP, that's when I take my Unite. I bait people's Unite, I bait people's full heal, I bait people's invincibility form before I use my Unite. This way I can guarantee to get it off and kill someone right away. Now, we come to Cinderace. Cinderace is still a Pokemon that in solo queue, I'm gonna put in a fairly high tier. Let's say I'm gonna put in a higher A. In fact, you know, I'm gonna move everything a tier down like this. This way you have an S tier Pokemon. So Cinderace, I think it's A tier because Cinderace right here, this Pokemon still have a lot of farming potential. You can farm really, really fast and you can secure objectives with your Unite move. Like you think about getting your Unite move either by the first Rotom or by first Dreadnought, depending on like how fast you farm or how much, if you have Jungle Thief or not. Either way, hitting level 7 allows you to start farming really fast with your Blaze Kick. If you can go Pyro Ball, like the rank 2, global rank 2 Cinderace. Either way you go with, you can farm really fast. So I'm gonna pick Cinderace A tier. And obviously, if you time your Unite right, if you know how to like burn objectives, you have one of the best secure in the game. If you don't know that, make sure to check out our latest videos on the Unite secure, right? Like I made a video compare all the hyper carries that can secure objectives. The reason a lot of people wonder why I didn't put Absol in there, because Absol's Unite move, as good as it sounds, is not a one-shot damage. It's like pa 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 pa, right? And especially the last Unite animation, it has a huge delay between the previous 3. That's why I didn't count it. Now let's go talk about Cramorant. Unfortunately, at this point of the game, I gotta put Cramorant in C tier, right? Somewhere even under Blissey. This Pokemon is just not that great. I don't know what happened to the Pokemon. Like they changed the animation of the dive. People telling me, oh, there are not too much change to dive. Like the single target damage is still pretty good. But actually, in practice, when I played it, they added the animation to it. Where before it's just like, psing, now it's like, psing. You know, it's like a half a second slower animation, and that make Cramorant really weird. Like I don't know, it feels like I'm not diving fast enough. It just doesn't feel fast enough. I like the animation, like the diving animation. You can see the slow dive, but I don't like the speed of it. It definitely feels slower. I like the previous Cramorant better. So right now I will give Cramorant C tier, maybe even go down a little bit further. Crustle, oh my god, what can I say about Crustle? Personally, I'm not a big fan of Crustle players. I would say a C+. Personally, I have a lot of bias against Crustle. Crustle mostly never come to any objective, never come to Dread, never come to Rotom, never come to anything. He just farms and it goes score the 5-10 petty points. It's weird. Even a Zapdos, especially Zapdos. Most Crustle player never come to Zapdos fight. They will score the 100 points, and if your team lose Zapdos, you lose. Despite the fact that you have a Crustle. A lot of good Crustle players will score 300-400 points per game. And that might be revolutionary. Because let's say you guys lose Zapdos, but if your team is able to fight the enemy team and kill like 2 to 3 people, even enemy team got Zapdos, you have a Crustle that score 500 points alone, 300-400 points alone, you guys still might have a chance to win. So Crustle overall, if you do it right, it can be really, really good. I'm just saying I'm not a big fan because it just feels like this type of players never play as a team. And I'm a more of a team player type of person, if you know what I mean. Now, next person, Decidueye. I would have put Decidueye on A+ tier, ahead of Cinderace. The reason why is Decidueye in the current meta right now, after the recent buff, again on Spirit Shackle, is absolutely insane how much damage you can do. And on top of it, you can do it 3 times. You know, it's actually crazy. Like in the middle of the team fight, if you do your Spirit Shackle right, you can do literally 5 arrows back to back to back. Because the cooldown, like when you shoot the first arrow, the clock start running, right? It start accumulating the next one. And then it depends on whether you use the second one immediately or not. You can literally use 5 arrows back to back to back. I've done it many, many times as a sniper general now with the new Holoware. I know exactly how this Pokemon works. Your Unite move, if you time it right, you can poke an enemy away. You can straight up eliminate enemy. Let's say they have a Duraludon, they try to burn objectives. If you do that at the right angle, you can just kill the Duraludon with 1 Unite move, or kill the enemy divers with 1 Unite move. Let's say enemy have a Lucario who got spotted quite far away, but he's running towards you. If you Unite, you can just kill Lucario in 1 shot. Lucario will probably force you to use Unite. Even then, with the Lucario Unite move, you can still kill them with 1 shot. The only downside with Decidueye is obviously we're talking about mobility issues. This character doesn't really have a lot of dash skill, gap closer, but overall, you cannot underestimate the damage from Decidueye. The sniper build, the hyper carry build, they're both really, really good, and you have a lot of secure for objectives. If you come to our live stream daily, which I highly recommend you do with the link in description, join our daily live stream, which streams for 7 days a week, you will see me in our fight against top teams, in our scrims against top teams. We have used countless snipes to steal objectives when we're behind. I've used countless snipes to surprise enemy with 1 or 2 kills when they don't see it coming. So overall, I will give Decidueye an A tier right now, above Cinderace, because it does help you secure a lot of objective faster, and you don't have a power spike of level 9, you have a power spike of only level 7, you can start sniping already. Now, Dragonite, I'm still gonna give Dragonite a higher tier than any of these, because Dragonite in solo queue, your secure is still really, really good. You can still cure Zapdos, you're still really tanky, you still have insane amount of mobility. Everything about Dragonite still have not changed. It's just that Dragonite doesn't have as good of a damage, I would say, compared to Cinderace, the hyper carry like Decidueye or Greninja. But overall, in solo queue, if you want to win, I highly recommend Dragonite, right? This Pokemon with Hyper Beam, with the Dragon Dance, is still insane on burst, on solo. If you watch our live stream last night, when our viewer requested Dragonite, I played Dragonite, you saw we're going against 5 men and we still win. In fact, I just showed you Unite API right here. This game was really close. The enemy was Team SS, STMN. Like, this is Mexico #1 team players, you know? They're really good. But yeah, we won. And at 5 men, the reason why that is because even though we're losing all game, I told my viewers, told my members to come to Zapdos at 2 minutes and we burn the Zapdos. And luckily, I have the really good secure. Just because I captured the enemy not paying attention to half a second, we were able to secure the Zapdos and we completely won the game. Because Zapdos win the game in this type of game. No, you get a Zapdos, you go in, score a few hundred points, you come back and defend. And if you go back to watch that game from yesterday's live stream, even solo damage, right? I have Muscle, Scope, and Buddy, and I'm still able to out damage a Cinderace because Cinderace was playing a little bit of careless. You just have to land 2 Hyper Beam on him, and he's completely dead. So overall, I'll give Dragonite just a tier A because you have a lot of mobility. It's really hard to kill this person. Just make sure don't go Outrage. I mean, if you want to troll and have fun, Outrage is fine. Next, I want to give a shout out to Eldegoss, right? Eldegoss, I think right now in the current meta, I would say Eldegoss is somewhere around C tier or D tier, right? I'll say C tier. I mean, Eldegoss is really good, don't get me wrong. Solo, you just don't win that much. But let's say I'll put Eldegoss above Cramorant. In fact, we'll just drag Cramorant to D tier because Cramorant is just like cringe right now. It's really horrible. The skill cooldown, if you want to go to caster build, is cringe. The diver build is fun, but it's still kind of cringe. Like I said, the animation is kind of cringe, so I'll put a tier down. So I'll put Eldegoss right here. In solo queue, if you want to win, I would highly recommend like a duo solo trio situation. If you want to win, I would highly recommend get a Wiggly or a Slowbro, right? Right here, I'm gonna put Wiggly in higher B tier. I'm put it right here. The reason why is Wiggly is useful all around. Blissey just doesn't work in a lot of cases. Let's say Blissey, yes, you have a full heal, kinda, right? You can cleanse your team from quad controls. You can have a Unite move that's insane. But if you think about Wiggly, he's useful all around, right? Like you can engage with it, you can come back and peel with it, and when Wiggly unites, it cleanses all the quad control, which is essential in this game. On top of it offers the entire team a tremendous shield that's everybody around you. It's like a more on steroids kind of Blissey. You can not only peel one person, you can also peel multiple person around you. So overall, Wiggly just busted strong if you're looking for protection, looking for engage, looking for all-around good support. Now, Garchomp is a character in the current meta, I would say is fairly higher tier because Garchomp Unite is also really strong, and Garchomp Unite straight up kills people. It also doesn't have any criteria, like kind of like Charizard. Charizard Unite, you have to kind of land it. Garchomp, you don't need to. The only problem with Garchomp is a melee character where Charizard is not. Charizard is like a medium range character, and Charizard has a lot more mobility than Garchomp. So overall, I would put Garchomp somewhere in a higher C or low B, right? You know what? I'm gonna put everybody down 1 tier one more time because I think there are a few more characters that deserve to be put in C tier. We actually have like a lot of tiers right here. We have 7 tiers, so we're gonna kind of separate them out. Garchomp is a character that is really fun to play, but the problem with this character is mobility. You can't chase a lot of people sometimes. It's really easy to kite around Garchomp if you want to. Like you've seen me playing Cinderace with 1 HP, just play around the Garchomp and just straight up dominate the Garchomp. Now let's go with Gardevoir. Gardevoir in the current meta doesn't really fit, especially in solo queue. The existence of Decidueye really kind of diminished the Gardevoir. I told my team the same thing. This is a Gardevoir on steroids, right? You can poke, you can do a lot of damage from really far, and you outpoke a Gardevoir too. Like it takes 2 arrows from Decidueye, fully charged, completely 100-0 Gardevoir. You can't even touch a Decidueye. The thing is, you just have to, when you play Decidueye, you just have to make sure you get away. You're not in range of Gardevoir, right? And you just snipe him. If you snipe the Gardevoir, he can't really do much. And on top of it, this character has absolutely no mobility. Your Unite move is really long cooldown. It's really hard for Gardevoir to farm as well. So overall, I'll give Gardevoir a C tier in the current meta right now. And obviously, Gardevoir get completely demolished by Blastoise, by Absol, by Charizard, by all these divers, even by Cinderace, by Dragonite. All of this character kind of straight up counters Gardevoir. Now, Gengar, however, I will give Gengar a higher tier. I would say even ahead of Charizard. Gengar's power spike is a level 7. After you get Shadow Ball, Dream Eater, after you get the Sludge Bomb hacks, he is really strong. Right? You can go in and kill people. And also, like Gengar level 9 have a really good secure. Your Unite move doesn't matter. You run Hex Unite, you run Dream Eater Unite, you jump in with your Unite at the same time. That combo does insane amount of damage. Make sure you check out our Unite comparison. You can use Gengar to secure objectives also. Greedent right now definitely deserve a really high tier. This Pokemon is just all around good. Now, I wouldn't say Greedent can carry that well, but Greedent is really, really good at being insanely annoying. So you know what? I will put Greedent at a really high C. No, you know what? I will switch Absol and then Greedent. I think Greedent is just way too annoying. You need to be a higher tier. It's absolutely insane, so I'm gonna put it right here. Now we'll come to Greninja. The thing about Greninja is assassin. So I'm gonna put it right behind Cinderace. The ability for Greninja to rip objective is not as high as Decidueye or Cinderace, but Greninja overall fighting is really strong. If you unite on top of this two, Cinderace or Decidueye, and you just auto attack melee range, all 3 of them are gonna die to Greninja. The damage is really high. The only thing is both of them have a lot of secure and a lot of poke from far away, and Greninja doesn't. And that's the problem with Greninja. But nonetheless, solo carry wise, Greninja is still one of the best choice in solo queue. Now we come to the dog Pokemon Lucario. Lucario, what do we say about Lucario? If you play Lucario, you can destroy this 3. Like you can destroy Decidueye, Cinderace, and Greninja really easily. In solo queue, if you have a Pokemon, if you want to have a character who play the solo lane, who will constantly go score, Lucario is somewhere in the high B tier, right? But it does get countered by Wiggly. So you know what? I'll put it like right here, above Gengar, but under Blastoise. Because in solo duo trio queue, Blastoise is definitely a lot stronger in just brainlessly killing your enemy back, killing your entire backline. Now we talk about Machamp. Machamp is similar, and Machamp has a lot more scaling in the late game. And we all know how game breaking if you land your Unite right. So I'm gonna put a Machamp in a higher tier right here. Now above Wiggly even, because Machamp is just that strong. We have too many people in the B tier right now, which is kind of cringe. You know what? I'm gonna move this is why you have so many tiers, right? Because this way you have more distinction on which Pokemon you can use. Machamp is just really, really fun Pokemon to use. So now let's talk about Mamoswine. Mamoswine in the current meta, I think is really, really good. The amount of CC you have, especially with the uprising of Decidueye. You can see Decidueye right now. Decidueye has become quite popular, you see? It's being picked more than a lot of other Pokemons. This is like in the upper half of the most popular Pokemons right here. And the Decidueye's win rate is actually not that bad either. I mean, actually, most people win rate is pretty low. But if you watch our stream, you will see I have like overall 70% above solo queue win rates. Around 75% actually, when we play Sniper Prince. It's actually really strong. Mamoswine counter Decidueye, because you can run Decidueye down. Even with Decidueye Unite, and you're so tanky, it's really hard for Decidueye to snipe this Mamoswine elephant down. So I'll put a Mamoswine in a higher tier. And then obviously when we talk about qual control being so important in this game, Blastoise doesn't do anything to Mamoswine either, because, you know, how tanky Mamoswine is. It's just that Mamoswine doesn't really carry that much. So I'll put him in the B tier, because you can actually change the game. You can actually go on enemy backline, straight up kill them. You can also one-shot people, especially I take attack away with Mamoswine, and you see me like one-shotting enemy backlines over and over again without using Unite. Just Icicle and a charge, and it's enough to kill somebody in the backline if I land all of them with his auto attack. It's insane. Mr.Mime is kind of interesting, because Mr.Mime is a close combat character. But when we talk about characters like Decidueye or Dragonite, Decidueye, not to mention the longest range in the game, right? So it's kind of hard for Mr.Mime to get on top of him. But Mr.Mime does kind of counter Cinderace and Greninja, because Mr.Mime, you know, again, close combat, I can just unite on top of those two squishy characters and straight up kill them. I'll give Mr.Mime a higher tier. I think overall, his early game secure is really good. His late game disruption is pretty good. And obviously, Mr.Mime is not really afraid of all the melee characters. If you come in, I'll just slam you onto a wall, or I can use a link permanently on my ally to give them movement speed. Overall, it's really nice. Now let's talk about Ninetales. Interestingly, even though as good as Ninetales is right now, I would give Ninetales a C tier. It's not the best, but it's definitely really viable and really fun to play. Everything about Ninetales is really good. One-shot combo, everything is good. But Ninetales farming speed is really horrible. That's number one. So you don't get your Unite that fast. And even if you get your Unite really fast, your Unite secure, everything just cringe. Your Unite secure has a delay. We all know how Ninetales Unite works. The Ninetales charges on the ground, boom, and then explodes, right? It has a delay to the skill. So it's not damage right away. That's number one. And then the damage only is good if you freeze somebody first, because we all know how Ninetales Unite works. The passive on the Unite is it will do extra damage to people who are frozen. So you can't really use Ninetales Unite on someone who's not frozen. You can use it to self-heal, which most people do because this character is so super squishy. But if you don't freeze someone, either with your Aurora Veil or with your one-shot combo, with Avalanche combo, like if you don't freeze them and then use your Unite doesn't do that much damage. So overall, I would say Ninetales is actually below Absol, you know, because Absol straight up can one-shot Ninetales. But definitely ahead of Gardevoir, because Ninetales doesn't really need that much farm to be powerful. And then you can, like, be level 6, it's already your power spike. Doesn't matter which combo you go with, the one-shot combo or the fighter combo, you can use Aurora Veil and kill people. But I will put Ninetales in the lower C, just because how cringe the Unite is. Now we'll come to Pikachu. Pikachu, in my opinion, is still one of the best Pokemon in the game. Doesn't matter which part it is. If you want to play trio, 1-person jungle, 2-person bottom, Pikachu definitely your Pokemon to go. So with that being said, I would have put Pikachu right here in the A tier. This is one of the attackers, if you really want to win, Pikachu is the one to go, because you can use 6 Unites in one game. It's absolutely insane. The moment you get your Unite, just use it every once a minute. Do not be shy. Like a lot of people, they cannot use your Unite at 3 minutes because you want to save your Unite Zapdos fire at 2 minutes. The last time they can use your Unite is probably 340, 4 minutes even for support players. For Pikachu, you can use your Unite at 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and then you're gonna get your Unite at 2 minutes. That's how OP this Pokemon is. You only need like 2 to 3 farms to get completely charge your Unite within the minute. And obviously, we all know how strong, doesn't matter which combo you go with, Electrical Ball, or you can go to Thunder combo, like to poke. You do so much damage from so far away. On top of it, Unite give you a lot of mobility. You can use Body Barrier to give your teammate shield. Pikachu straight up counters all this Pokemon we just talked about. Cinderace, Decidueye, Dragonite, Greninja. If they jumps on Pikachu and Pikachu has Unite, which he does all the time, you straight up die. You don't one-shot Pikachu and Pikachu will just Unite you and kill you. You know, so it's absolutely insane, like how strong this Pokemon is. I will put a Pikachu in absolutely A tier. It's the thing is Pikachu didn't have any secure. So in solo queue, this is more of a attacker on the bottom side to kill enemy team, where you need one of those characters to secure objectives and to win the game, right? Now we talk about Slowbro. Slowbro, in my opinion, is somewhere up there with Wiggly. The reason why is this is the only character that counters every character in the entire game, right? Because the Unite move. If you use it right, if you use it on hero icon, the Pokemon icon, and it lock down the right character, let's say Charizard is in the air, Charizard United and is flying in the air, Slowbro is the only character that can be like, I'm gonna bait him like a kite. You can unite the Charizard in the air, and the Charizard become useless. He just wastes his unite. And you can counter Charizard like that in a crucial team fights. And then while Charizard's in the air, your teammates, like this hyper carries and all that, can just beat the Charizard down, straight up kill him, make him completely useless. Not to mention, this character has a lot of abilities that make him immune to crowd control. So Charizard can't even get his unite off from this character when you use Amnesia, for example. So it's really, really strong. Now come to Snorlax. Snorlax, I will give Snorlax a really high C. I've been a fan of Snorlax for a while, but Snorlax is definitely not as strong as Mamoswine right now, in my opinion. You have a lot of CC, but not as much CC as Mamoswine, and then Snorlax solo kill potential onto an enemy squishy backline is not as high as Mamoswine. So in solo queue, I will put Snorlax somewhere around here. Around Greedent, being really annoying, being really strong, early game really strong, but definitely not that strong. Now, we go to Talonflame. Talonflame is an interesting character that I'm actually not so sure how to put him, because this character is really strong, but also kind of weak at the same time. Still, it's heavily used in competitive scene, but competitive scene is different from solo duo trio. In trio, you can still have a lot of fun with it, because it does have a lot of secure with fly or brave bird combo. So I'm gonna put Talonflame in a high B. The thing about this character is really, really squishy. If you have a Wiggly around your teammate constantly, you can counter Talonflame easily. If you play Cinderace, you can do feint, you can counter Talonflame easily if you know how to play. If you seeing us do it, we need the same thing. You can counter Talonflame easily, right? Because you can route yourself, invest, and turn around and kill Talonflame, or you can just straight up dodge his skills with your Shroud as well. So overall, Talonflame I'm putting a high B, but definitely not as high as those characters. You can still carry and secure objectives really easily, and then kill people. Now we come down to Sylveon. The thing about Sylveon is Sylveon's power spike is really early. Like you get level 4, you're insane. The Hyper Voice does a lot of damage. You can go Mystical Fire. It does damage, but you can't secure objective. I like Hyper Voice better with Sylveon. And obviously Sylveon got a skin on top of it. So we'll put Sylveon, that's not in my consideration, but we'll put a Sylveon somewhere around the C tier, you know, but definitely not as strong as Ninetales. So here, you know what? I'll move everybody down a tier one more time, because this way I can have someone in an F tier. Boom. It doesn't mean like they're bad. I'm just telling you like they're by tier, right? Cramorant just that bad right now. Definitely need some changes. Let's talk about Hoopa first. Hoopa as a Pokemon right now is still one of the strongest in the game. If you want to play trio, a great trio will be like Pikachu, Hoopa, and then Cinderace. You know, Pikachu, Hoopa, Dragonite. Pikachu, Hoopa, Decidueye. They're all really, really good together. It's just so universal. You can use it as attacker too. I'll put Hoopa in the S tier. The Pokemon is actually so good in the current meta that you can use on any situation. So Unite move is broken, busted strong. You know, the trick combo is insane. You can go the Hyper Loop. It's still really good. So overall, I think Hoopa is the only person who deserves to be in S tier right now. Now let's talk about Tsareena, right? Another queen character. This Tsareena is actually quite underrated. A lot of people don't use this character, but if you use Drop Kick and a Stomp combo, it's actually quite devastating to kill enemy backline. With Tree Majestic, you can get a lot of shield, you can get a lot of heal, you can go score, you can just kill people. Overall, I think this character is really strong. It's definitely really fun. Now, the reason why this character has to be put down a little bit is because this character has absolutely no secure, right? Like zero secure whatsoever. If you want to really go team fight, Charizard is a really good target. Charizard is a really good character to team fight. Why do you go Tsareena, right? It's just Tsarena's power spikes level 6 really early on. Unfortunately, Tsareena doesn't secure at all. This character has absolutely zero secure at all. It's complete a team fight character. If you happen to get certain objectives, complete because you're lucky, you know, and it happens. But I will put Tsareena at a high C because this character does trump all of these characters, because Tsareena can actually kill Gengar really easily with your Unite move, and also you have so much shield. If you run full heal, which is what I do, I run full heal. This guy, use Dream Eater on you, whatever. You have a shield, you have full heal to get away from it, and you can turn around and kill Gengar really easily. Now, Venusaur. Venusaur is an interesting character right now. In Venusaur team fight, I don't think is as strong as before. Now, with help of Blissey, you might be a little bit different, but nonetheless, if you want a team fight early, why don't you just go Charizard? In 5-on-5, they run Venusaur bottom lane, but we're talking about solo duo trio here, unless you go jungle. But if you go jungle, I highly recommend you get something that can secure, you know, like Dragonite, like Decidueye, like Cinderace, those type of characters. So overall, I will give Venusaur somewhere like after Charizard, you know, like right here. I'll put it Mamoswine here actually. So this way we don't have too many characters in B tier. Venusaur is right here. It's pretty good, decent, but it's not the best. Now we come to Zeraora. Zeraora solo queue is decent, but Zeraora's biggest problem is securing objectives. Like you can kill squishy characters, but right now Zeraora just have the biggest problem on securing objectives. Like the Unite move just doesn't do damage. I tested it. It doesn't. In fact, it's so bad. I don't even know how to like put it in the video I made regarding Unite secures. It was so low, cringily low right now. In fact, I think people heals from your Unite move. That's how bad it is. Nonetheless, the wall charge spark combo is really strong. So overall, like, I think I will put a Zeraora somewhere here in a high C. You can be really powerful if you use it right. Trevenant is very underrated, by the way. Trevenant is unkillable. The Unite move actually help you do objective really fast. For people who didn't know, if you Unite on a target, all your follow-up damage will actually go on, do extra damage to that target. So you can, let's say if you combo this with Decidueye and Cinderace, you guys can burn objective fast, really, really fast. It's just this guy didn't have any peel, except for your Unite move. So I will put this character somewhere in the B tier, but definitely not as high as all those carry players. Now, we'll come to Duraludon. Duraludon, in my opinion, is still a really, really OP character. People think this character got nerfed to the ground. Now, if you play solo queue, you do it right. Your Unite move is still really good. You still have secure, just similar to Dragonite. After Dragonite, it's kind of like how Dragonite Hyper Beam got nerfed. People think Dragonite is useless. I don't think so. I still think this character is really, really good. So I'm going to put this character in the high B tier because you can secure objectives so easily. Your team fight, your early game presence so strong. After Dragon Pulse, you can poke so well. Now we'll come to Aegislash. Oh my god, what did I say about Aegislash? Let's just put it right here because it's not very good. The Unite move secure is horrible. The team fight potential is eh. He has some kind of quad control because you're a shield form, you're a sword form. Like you can dash around, sure. You can do some damage for sure, especially unlucky crits. You can do damage, but the Unite move is so bad that I cannot justify ever. I would recommend this in any scenario. I would recommend this character. So this is my tier list, guys. Let me know what y'all think for the Master Solo Duo Trio Queue. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash a like, subscribe, and turn the bell on to all notification bells. With that, it's Dave signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.
Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill of it.